The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zethric of the Vorton Empire activated the holographic display. The three-dimensional projection materialized above the obsidian table, showing a weapon of devastating complexity, a molecular disintegrator capable of unraveling matter at the quantum level. "Behold," Zethric announced, his forearms spread wide in a gesture of triumph. "The pinnacle of Vorton military engineering. With this, we have conquered 17 star systems. No shield can withstand it. No armor can deflect it. This is why humanity must surrender their frontier colonies to the Empire." The assembled delegates from across the galaxy leaned forward, their varied anatomies creating a bizarre tableau of fear and fascination. Crystalline beings refracted the hologram's light. Gaseous entities swirled with agitation. Even the stoic mech-born representatives processed the data with visible concern. At the far end of the table, Maya Singh remained perfectly still. The human diplomat, dressed in a simple navy suit, had her chin resting on her hand, dark eyes half closed. To the untrained observer, she appeared almost bored.Zethric's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. "You see? Even the human acknowledges the futility of resistance." Maya's eyes opened fully. She sat up straight, reached for her water glass, and took a slow sip before responding. "I'm sorry. I think I dozed off for a second there. Did you just threaten us with a quantum decoherence weapon?" The chamber erupted in confused murmurs.Zethric's skin flushed a deeper shade of purple. "You dare mock the Vortan Empire's greatest achievement?" "Not mock?" Maya tilted her head, a slight smile playing at her lips. "No, Ambassador. I'm just trying to figure out if this is some kind of joke. We banned those in 1997. The silence that followed was absolute." "Impossible," Zethric hissed. "This technology is only 73 cycles old. Your primitive species couldn't have possibly." "The Ottawa Treaty," Maya interrupted, pulling up her own holographic display with a casual swipe of her hand. "December 3rd, 1997. Earth Standard Calendar. We banned anti-personnel quantum destabilization devices, along with several other weapons deemed too inhumane for warfare." "Let me see." She scrolled through the document. "Ah, yes, here it is. Article 4, Subsection 12. Prohibition of weapons utilizing quantum decoherence fields against biological targets." Ferit Kovac, the human military attaché standing behind Maya, stepped forward. His tall frame and scarred face made several alien delegates recoil. "We actually developed and tested 3 different variants of quantum disintegrators between 1994 and 1996, he said, his voice carrying the flat tone of someone reciting historical facts. "The results were so horrific that every nation on Earth agreed to ban them. Unanimously. That almost never happens with us." "You're lying," Zethric sputtered. "If humanity possessed such technology, why haven't you used it? Why do you rely on kinetic weapons and plasma cannons?" Maya stood up, her 5'4" frame somehow commanding the room's attention. "Because, Ambassador, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. We learned that lesson the hard way. Multiple times. Throughout our history." She walked around the table, her footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. "In 1945, we split the atom and immediately used it to kill hundreds of thousands of our own species. We spent the next 50 years living under the shadow of weapons that could end all life on our planet. We created chemical weapons that dissolved flesh, biological weapons that turned bodies against themselves, and yes, quantum weapons that could erase a person from existence without leaving a trace." Maya stopped directly in front of Zethric's delegation. "And then we banned them. All of them. Not because we were weak, but because we decided that some victories aren't worth the cost." Ferit added, "The Ottawa Treaty was actually one of over 300 international agreements restricting or banning weapons of war. Landmines, blinding lasers, expanding bullets, poisoned projectiles, the list goes on. We're not pacifists, Ambassador. We just learn to fight without losing our humanity in the process. The crystalline delegate, Ambassador Loomis, spoke up, her voice like chimes in the wind. But surely, in the face of extinction, you would use these banned weapons, would we? Maya turned to face the entire council. Maybe. Probably. Humans are good at making exceptions when we're desperate. But here's the thing. We're not desperate. The Vorton Empire threatens us with a weapon we deemed too cruel for warfare nearly a century ago. A weapon we not only understand but could reproduce in our sleep. She smiled, and there was something predatory in it. Ambassador Zethric, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about humanity. The reason we don't use our worst weapons isn't because we can't. It's because we're terrified of what happens when we do. We've been to the brink. We've looked into the abyss of total annihilation. Maya returned to her seat. So when you show me your ultimate weapon, and I tell you we banned it in 1997, I'm not being flippant. I'm giving you a warning. If your best weapon is something we considered too terrible to use 70 years ago, you really don't want to find out what we've developed since then.Zethric's forearms trembled. You're bluffing. Ferret leaned forward, his hands flat on the table. Are you willing to bet your empire on that? The silence stretched. Finally, the mech-born mediator, Unit 734, spoke in its synthetic voice. Perhaps, the Vortan Empire would like to reconsider its territorial demands. Ambassador Zethric looked at the hologram of his ultimate weapon, still rotating slowly above the table. Then, he looked at Maya, who had returned to her relaxed posture, taking another sip of water. The Empire will require time to deliberate, Zethric finally managed. Take all the time you need, Maya said cheerfully. The Ottawa Treaty is publicly available if you want to read it. Fair warning, though it's only one of many. As the Vorton delegation filed out, Loomis approached Maya. Tell me, Ambassador Singh, what weapons haven't you banned? Maya's expression turned serious. The ones we might actually need.